Sean Hannity, when it was Donald Trump who was, pretending to be against the Afghanistan war, Sean Hannity was right there with him, and he was supporting him, and he thought Trump was right. Now that it's Biden who actually ended the war, naturally he flips because he's a partisan hack, and all he cares about is arguing Republicans are good and Democrats are bad. He has on Oliver North here, and they're going to talk about Biden's speech where he quintupled down on getting out of Afghanistan, and they're going to have some hilarious attacks against him.
I watched those set of remarks today, and I have decided that what may well be happening is that his aides now know he is incompetent, mentally incompetent, to carry out the mission of the President of the United States. Okay? Not only just this botched mission, but anything else. And I think what they're doing is they're setting him up for a 25th Amendment expulsion from office. Now, God help us if Kamala, what's her name? Kamala.
Well, that would take his own Kamala Harris. It would take his entire cabinet it would take his cabinet to do that.
Well, that's true.
Well, I will tell you there is a great discernment here. If you look at the disastrous last couple of press conferences he's had, there's been 3 unmitigated disasters. And then I guess they gave him a lot of caffeine today or whatever. And you go be tough, Joey. And he was late as usual, hours late. Yeah. And I'm sure just practicing. No, put more force behind it. Yell, lecture, Well, look at, but there's something really, you don't go from no energy to like the Energizer Bunny. Just like that.
There's medicines for that.
No.
There really is. I mean, there's injections you can take, there's pills you can take, and obviously he got some of those today. But the bottom line of it is that the decisions that are being made, even more so than the botched responses that he has to take, which is probably why he didn't take any questions today. Somebody's now stopped that much. But why did he make the decisions he did? And my answer to that is never, ever underestimate the power of blackmail. We know from just Hunter's laptop that money changed hands, and that if that's revealed, he's toast. They'll impeach him.
He was blackmailed into pulling out of Afghanistan? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What, he pulled out of Afghanistan to prevent a Hunter Biden dick pic from leaking? What? And even the thing of like, if money changed hands, he's toast, they'll impeach him. Money changes hands all the time in Washington, D.C., and nothing happens. Donald Trump took hundreds of thousands of dollars through his D.C. hotel given to him by the Saudis, and then he approved a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal to that theocratic, authoritarian, genocidal government, and nobody said anything, and nobody did anything. We already know that Joe Biden and Hunter are corrupt with the whole Ukraine thing and him sitting on the energy board and getting paid a tremendous amount of money, and they were just trying to buy access to Joe Biden. Nothing came about from that. Why? Because that's the way all of Washington, D.C. works. It's legalized bribery. It's corruption. It's out in the open. It's the swamp, and they all participate in it. The idea they would impeach him over that is absolute nonsense. They were talking about maybe impeaching him over the withdrawal from Afghanistan, like the one great thing he did. Meanwhile, then he kills civilians with a drone strike and nobody says anything. But blackmailed into pulling out of Afghanistan, that makes absolutely no sense. But my favorite part is, of course, injections and pills. Like, by the way, this is how you know Biden gave a good speech, is he made good points, he freaked it, he delivered it well, and so they're saying he couldn't have actually just done that and said the right things and did the right things and delivered it well. He had to just be high as balls, which, by the way, is probably true. He was high as balls, but that doesn't take away from the substance of what he said or the fact he gave a good speech. Trump was high as balls all the time on Adderall, and I never knocked him for it. In fact, I'd rather have Biden or Trump on some sort of stimulant to make sure that their decrepit, falling apart, 70-however-year-old bodies aren't, totally failing them and making them slower and not as capable. So yeah, inject away. Pop those pills, baby, and send some my way while you're at it. I mean, that's not a knock. That shouldn't be a knock, but they say it like, this guy might be on something. There were reports that your guy snorted Adderall. How many times did he do in the debates when he's arguing with Hillary? Did he do this? He was a sniffer. He would sniff. And that's, you know, anybody who's ever snorted anything knows that's what happens is when you snort shit, whether it's Adderall or Coke or whatever, you end up doing that, sniffing. You got a little drip going on. So Trump probably did Adderall. Biden might be doing something. Either way, I support it. I mean, they're so goddamn old. They probably need it just to keep up with the pace of a regular 30-some-odd-year-old or 40-some-odd-year-old. But I love how all that's insane. So they say his aides know he's mentally incompetent. Why? Because he made the one phenomenal decision of getting out of Afghanistan. That's how they know. By the way, Joe Biden is slowing down mentally for sure. I've called that out a million times, but that doesn't mean he didn't make the right decision on Afghanistan. He did make the right decision on Afghanistan. He could be slow as hell, but if he keeps making the right decisions, then shit, riding with Biden, baby. I don't care. As long as he makes the right decisions, I don't care what he sounds like or how much slower he is. I mean, again, take the pills, and that'll fix that problem anyway. And then they say, well, they're gonna do the 25th Amendment to remove him. There was a lot of talk about 25th Amendment, 25th Amendment, 25th Amendment during Trump's time in office. Nothing came of it. My guess is the exact same thing is going to happen with Biden. However, the difference is Biden actually is pissing off the deep state and the military-industrial complex and the intelligence agencies. So he is a little bit more of a threat to powerful interests than Trump ever was. So maybe it is a little bit more real, but I don't think it's as real as they're making it out to be. I don't think we're on the brink of it like they were making it out to be. But this is the kind of conversation that they're having. Again, Sean Hannity supported the withdrawal when it was Trump talking about doing it. Now Biden actually follows through and he flips. Oh, he's mentally incompetent. Oh, they're going to use the 25th Amendment to remove him. Oh, he's doing injections and pills. Oh, he's being blackmailed or something. Imagine some blackmail over Hunter Biden's dick. And he's like, I got to pull out of Afghanistan. Imagine that's how it really went, but that's what these idiots think. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.